Today I'm going to be scraping the very bottom of the barrel and bringing you a Trading 212 portfolio reveal. Wahey, just like you all asked for, because I'm feeling lazy. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. So as you can see on here, I'm up 4.81% overall in the portfolio. I've got a variety of holdings here. This isn't kind of my main account, and these are like the individual stocks that I hold. So it's more like to scratch the itch, I suppose. So that you won't see any like ETFs or anything. That's more for my kind of Vanguard stocks and shares ISA. So this is my general ISA. This is my general investment account. So on here we've got a few stocks. We've got AT&T, which is a telecommunications company. If you're American, you will have probably heard of it. If you're British, you may have heard of it too. But they are currently at $29.96. I bought into them very recently. I think it was only last week or maybe a couple of days ago, because I think they're a good long-term play. I watched a good video by Paul Briscoe about his kind of opinions and thoughts on AT&T and why it was undervalued. And I thought, you know what? I agree with you, Paul. So I thought I would buy in. I think most of these you'll see they're like fairly far down, but for the most part, I think they're long-term plays. And then on here, we've also got Blackberry. I bought this for the meme stock video I did a while ago. If you've not checked that out, it's worth having a look at. You can check that out somewhere up there. I'm not sure which corner I'm meant to be pointed to, but you can check that out up there somewhere. But that one is not doing very well for me. I'm down 47% on that one. I think because I bought it at its peak. I mean, the thing is, I'm not too sure how this one will pan out, because even though I've got a very, very small holding, so I'm not too fussed about it, you know, either way. But I think because of the diversification that they're having into more like AI technology and stuff beyond the phones that they did have, I think they could be a good long-term play, but I think we will find out. I mean, they are still negative, and I'm not going to go too much into the financials and stuff of each company here. Bristol Squibb. This is another company which I saw Paul Briscoe go through, and I thought that this was a really good shout from him. So they are a kind of biopharmaceutical company, and again, potentially undervalued. We'll see again another long-term play, none of this short-term trading stuff, but they seem like quite a good company, and not one I'm actually, you know, hugely familiar with before watching that video. So they could be a good long-term play. Let me know, by the way, in the comments if you hold any of these, or what your thoughts are on these particular picks. Gamestop. I don't really need to explain this one too much. I'm sure even those of you who maybe aren't investors will have heard of the GameStop stock craziness recently, which has been happening. So again, I bought that during the meme stock stuff, and I've still got a few shares, as you can see. Helium One Global. So this is an interesting company. They are a British company that are looking to kind of extract helium and find helium. I believe it's in a country, I can't remember, I think it's in either in Africa or South America. It's in one of those countries, and basically it's a bit of a risky speculative stock pick, because if they find helium, then it'll probably rise exponentially, but if they don't, then it will probably fall quite a bit, and I'll leave the information here so you can read a bit about it. Oh, there you go, North Tanzania, I think that says. But yeah, but if they don't find helium, and if it's a bit of a, then the stock price will probably plummet. And the thing is as well, because they're quite a small company, the order actually took about a good 10 days to 2 weeks to actually go through. So after I pressed buy, but they've gone up so far. Still very cheap, 11p, but by the time, if you're looking to get in, it'll probably have risen more. I don't know, we'll see. Neo, another one as part of the meme stock video. I bought it kind of at its peak, as I did with lots of these meme stocks, but I do think that it does have some long-term potential, because they're all about kind of electric vehicles, which I personally believe is the future, and I think there's going to be a large transition towards electric vehicle making, as a lot of the main car manufacturers are transitioning towards them there. But Neo is quite a new company, well, relatively speaking, in comparison to some of the other automakers, and while they might have a bit of an advantage for now in that, I'm not sure which way it will pan out, but again, I think it's another one for me to hold. And then we've got Nokia, which again, I would imagine most people are familiar with, a phone company, but again, they also are diversifying out. So again, they're quite very cheap, but again, I think long term they do have potential. Next, we have Palantir. So this is a very interesting one, And it was for a bit of a meme stock. It's all about kind of technology and AI and kind of building platforms and stuff for institutions and for companies, and they've seen like a massive growth recently, and they're getting contracts left, right and centre from what I've seen, and they do seem to be quite a good buy from what I think. Obviously do your own research, that's why I'm not going too hugely into the research and stuff for each of these, because it's up to you to make your own financial decisions. I'm just, you know, a guy making some videos on YouTube. Don't take financial advice from me. But Palantir, I do think is a really good long-term play. Short-term, it has the potential to be a bit volatile, similar to Gamestop and a lot of these meme stocks. But I do think that it does have a lot of long-term potential, and it could be one of the bigger players going forwards, particularly as this is an industry which is growing rapidly. And then last but not least, we have Virgin Galactic. So this, again, I bought it up here. I did actually buy this. I held this a little while ago. I can't even remember. It must have been about a year ago that I first put into Virgin Galactic. So they're a company which is obviously run by Virgin and looking to kind of make space travel commercial. So they could be quite a good long-term play depending on how that kind of pans out. I think this is much more of a longer term play, you know, towards kind of, you know, the next 15, 20 years or so, because we just don't know what's going to happen with that. And we're not too sure on the timescales of when people are going to be, you know, regularly going to space and that sort of thing. But I do think that they are quite a good kind of long-term pick. The stock price has fluctuated significantly, and you can kind of see that I bought it towards its peak, and then it's, you know, it's fallen again back down. But I think long-term there is potential there. Now, I do also, just for transparency, I do have a couple of other stocks in General Electric, which is on free trade, and I'm too lazy to get it on here on the web browser, so I'll just tell you about it. But yeah, General Electric, obviously electric company, they do a bit of kind of aviation stuff, and recently there's been some pretty good gains in General Electric, and I think that is a good play for them. I've potentially made about 11% on that one so far, and again, I think that's another long-term hold one. I actually watched another of my kind of YouTube friends' videos called Stephen Ojo on that one, who makes really great videos about aviation stocks. So I would definitely recommend checking that one out up there, and I'll leave a link to it so you can find out a bit more about that stock. But that's pretty much all I've got for you today. I hope that you found this useful. Let me know in the comments, you know, what your investments and what your biggest picks for the future are, and I will hopefully see you in the next one.